the location of the sandstone rock.
Oh, it's so soft. Yeah.
We're here today to dedicate this memorial to all those veterans who served in the Vietnam War. I'd like to introduce the person who has organised this whole monument is Mr. Don Tate.
Fellow veterans of the Vietnam War, friends and relatives. A few people I really would like to specifically thank today. First of all, I'd like to thank the Vietnam Veterans Association of Australia, the Southwest region, which is over the Campbelltown Way. The project was born out of the Vietnam Veterans Lifestyle Program run by the Veterans Counselling Service in Parramatta. They got a half a dozen veterans or so together and said, look guys, you've got to do something positive to promote your own selves within the community instead of being a bunch of whingers and no-hopers, which is what most veterans are branded as. Go and do something positive and build yourselves up a bit. So we thought, all right, what can we do? At that time I was involved with the local cricket club here as the president, and I said to the club members, look, what if you do something about this cricket ground? It was just a very boring ground at the time, all flat and so forth. And so in conjunction with the Sharper City Council and the Albion Park Rail Cricket Club, these 6 men and their 6 wives said, yeah, okay, we'll come along with you, Don. And so they planted 200 trees around this sporting field. I know they probably wouldn't want me to actually point them out, so I'll just call their names out, and if you want it, guys, you can stick your hand up. My very good friend Kevin and Judith Skippon, who are here today. Kevin for the first time. I'd like to point this out to the fellow vets for the first time in almost 40 years. Kevin Skippon has been a veteran who's today come out of the closet and is actually wearing his medal for the very first time. For the horticulturally minded, Sarah, this will be for you in particular. I can tell you that we have jacarandas, fire wheels, Queensland box brush, native frangipani, flowering gums, Moreton Bay figs, and many other, including bird attracting varieties of trees around this particular field. Now, as many of you are aware, it was quite a battle to get to this point. The local council steadfastly refused permission to allow us this plaque, which is indicative of the way Vietnam veterans have been held within society for the last 30 or 40 years. The thing about it, of course, is that the Army taught us how to fight and how to be resilient. So after 7 years, we finally won the day. Jim Riddle was the only private soldier ever to lead a platoon of infantrymen in the Vietnam War for about a 6-week period. And Mr. Kevin Thomas will tell you a little bit more about that later. I'd like to pass on Jim's apologies, couldn't make it today. He was seriously ill in Queensland.
When I first moved to the area and met Don, who, as you know, is a man of great passion and great conviction, and he never takes no for an answer. He did raise with me as the new federal member his ongoing saga about an appropriate memorial for the dedicated effort of the Vietnam vets and their partners and wives in establishing the beautiful surroundings that we enjoy today. So he's the kind of person who is never deterred. And 7 years later, Don, finally, we're all gathered together to unveil this beautiful memorial. And of course, the trees, Don, will live in perpetuity long after we're all gone. And I hope the next generation of young people growing up will not only learn more about Australia's role in the Vietnam War and in all the theatres of war, but also understand the symbolic importance of the effort that the local community made in establishing such beautiful surroundings for all our community. Of recent times, Don's passion has again crossed my paths as the federal member, and this time about the proper recognition for the role of the 2nd D&E Platoon in Vietnam. And we've been having an ongoing battle with the Minister and with the Australian War Museum to have the role of those men who served in Vietnam properly acknowledged in the record of the military engagement in Vietnam. Thank you, Don, and all who worked with Don and the partners of the veterans for this beautiful memorial. Thank you.
As we all know, it's been a long and sometimes difficult path to get here today. But I am very pleased, and I'm genuinely pleased, that we have been able to join together for the betterment of the community and our esteemed Vietnam veterans.
For me, this is an absolute privilege and an honour to be asked to speak on behalf of Jim Riddle. I've known Jim since 1969 when we ended up in the 4th Battalion in D Company as reinforcements. And then we moved over to what we all know as the 2nd D&E Platoon. And I was a section commander in this 2nd D&E Platoon. Don Tate was my machine gunner. I couldn't think of a more fitting person's name to be on that plaque than Jim Riddle, because he was, as it turned out, a private soldier who was a platoon commander. And that's the fact of the matter. We had no platoon commander, no platoon sergeant, no medic.